This is Ira Glass of This American Life. Each week on our show, we choose a theme, tell different stories on that theme. All right, I'm just going to stop right there. You're listening to an NPR podcast. Chances are you know our show. So instead, I'm going to tell you, we've just been on a run of really good shows lately. Some big, epic, emotional stories, and some weird, funny stuff, too. Download us, This American Life.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week from the Center for Government Ingenuity here at Car Talk Plaza. Now, I thought we should congratulate the White House on its latest technological innovation.
Huh?
I don't have all the details yet, and you know me.
Yeah.
I'll just plunge right in because I don't need all the details.
Right, go ahead.
Apparently, someone in the White House has come up with a new design for clutches. I mean, we've been using asbestos clutches for years, and before that, what?
It was like wood or something.
I think so.
Yeah.
And now it appears that a new type of apparently biodegradable, eco-friendly clutch material has been developed right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Get out!
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know all the details, but I keep hearing all these references to it. They keep talking about the White House coffee clutches.
That! Clatches, coffee clatch.
I just thought they were mispronouncing it.
That's bad. Come on. You can do better than that.
I could, but I didn't have
Evidently not. All right.
See, you know, there used to be a time in the show when I would ask you if you had any great mail as a sore subject, huh? You don't have any great mail?
Well, I have to say that I did a little rant about the mail a week or two ago, and the quality, though not the quantity, has improved somewhat. I have a couple of pieces of mail, which I think are pretty interesting little tomes.
Well, I did want to caution you about your rant because by reading the Andy letter, I think you discouraged or dissuaded a lot of people who wouldn't be able to write a letter of that caliber.
Good. We don't want them to write a letter. We want the people who will see it as a challenge and say, I can do better than that.
So how many letters did you get this week?
One.
That's what I thought. If you'd like to call us about your car.
It's from your wife.
1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, it's Henry Randolph calling from Bossier City, Louisiana.
Henry.
Uh-huh.
And what's the city?
Bossier City. It's Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana.
Bossier City?
Bossier City.
How would you spell Bossier?
Bossier.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys don't know that.
Bossier City.
And it's near where?
Right next door to Shreveport.
Oh, it is.
Well, our Car Talk intern happens to be a Louisiana.
Is that right?
Yeah, she is, and she speaks very highly
the
of her
former
home
Miss
state.
Louisiana. You may know her.
Well, I've only been here a couple of years myself. Recently retired from the Air Force.
Oh.
Well, you wouldn't know her
You wouldn't
then.
know her. She's much older than that. She was Miss Louisiana in 1915.
Is that right?
So what's up, Henry?
I've got a 88 Ford Thunderbird, a 2.3-liter turbo coupe.
Mm-hmm.
The indication from my temperature gauge is that the car is overheating, but the car never seems to do it. Periodically, both the temperature gauge and the oil pressure gauge will both peg out, and they'll return to their normal positions by themselves. Now, me being the old shade tree mechanic that I am, I thought it might be a bad ground, dirty connections. I even replaced the instrument voltage regulator behind the dash twice.
Ooh,
You did?
excellent.
Oh, jeez, Henry.
You've
That was my answer.
Well, I can't seem to put my finger on what the problem is. I also replaced the ammeter since I was back there.
Yeah.
Because when I turned my lights on without the car started, the gauge wouldn't indicate it was discharging, so I thought maybe the gauge was bad.
So you replaced the ammeter.
I sure did.
But you didn't replace the temperature and the oil gauges.
I replaced both.
You replaced those two and the voltage regulator for the
Right.
for the
Now, I knew the
instrument
oil
cluster.
pressure gauge was bad. I knew that from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
And I assume that you've done the normal stuff like replace the thermostat. And
Oh, yeah. Thermostat. You know, when I bought the car used a couple of years ago, and I went through the process of replacing everything that had to do with the cooling system, the water pump, the thermostat, new
What a
hoses.
guy. See, now you're the kind of guy, the car will be good to you because you are good to it.
I try.
Some people just buy it and drive it, and they don't care what's under there. They don't want to know. They don't fix anything until it won't work anymore.
Yeah, we love them.
Oh, I agree with you that the car is not overheating.
Well, I don't agree with you.
It's not overheating.
I don't agree. Here's what I was going to
Absolutely not.
suggest, because I know it's within Henry's grasp. You are a very good shade tree mechanic, obviously. What I'm going to suggest you do is you buy an additional temperature gauge.
Okay.
Okay, and you mount it under the dash, and what you're going to have to do is put a T connector on the block or on the cylinder head. I think your temperature gauge is located on the cylinder head, the sending unit. You're going to tee this thing so that you can have hot water going to the factory supplied TSU and the new one.
Okay.
Okay? And then you're going to be sending 2 signals to the dashboard, one to the dashboard gauge and one to your new gauge. And when the dashboard one pegs out, you're going to see if the thing really is overheating. If the other one's pegged out, then you have a problem.
Right.
And you probably have a blown head gasket or a cracked block.
I don't think you, Henry. Don't relax, Henry. I think my
I'm not
brother
getting excited,
is
no.
wrong on this one. He's wrong. I don't think it's overheating at all.
Okay, smarty pants, what is
I don't
it?
know what's wrong with it.
I'm turning to you for the answer.
From his description, I conclude it is not overheating.
We know that.
The problem-
You've already made it clear that you don't think it's
Problem
overheating.
is a bad ground somewhere.
Somewhere like where? Montana?
All the ground in Montana is bad. I don't know where it is. I have to say, gauges have always been a mystery to me.
Yeah, they are devilish little things.
They are
That
devilish.
electromagnetism is elusive, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think that it may not be overheating, but I want you to verify. And are you willing to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
he'll
that's
do
fine.
it, and he'll find out that, in fact, one gauge says normal, the other one is bad.
Well, this will give me an opportunity, give Henry an opportunity to find out that it's not overheating, and
And
me
give
an
you a chance to
opportunity
come up
to
with a better-
research and find a better answer for Henry.
Stop.
Anything else malfunction?
No, other than like I said, when I turn on the lights, my ammeter should show that it's discharging, but it doesn't, and I've got a new ammeter
Oh, really? So you turn the lights on without the engine running, and
without
it's-
the engine running. Right,
and the ammeter doesn't move at all.
it doesn't move at all. Right,
Yeah. Huh?
that's a new ammeter.
Yeah. I mean, if it were my car, Henry,
He would tape up those gauges.
I wouldn't pay any attention to this at all. I would let those gauges
This
do...
is gnawing away at Henry. It's driving him nuts.
You know why? Because he's retired and he's got nothing better to do.
Is that true, Henry?
Well, I have little to do. I have a few things, but very little.
One of them is working on your car, right?
That's right.
But I've never had a car to stop me like this. You
Well,
know?
maybe before you go ahead and put that other gauge in, you might want to try getting a used printed circuit board.
I would do that.
I would try that.
I
too.
would go to the junkyard and ask him for that whole instrument cluster
Right.
and just plug the baby right in.
Yeah, for $10 or $20, you can buy the whole thing.
Right.
And
Plug that
it-
baby right in, and you will not have this problem anymore. I'm convinced it's in the readings here. There's
It may
nothing
be.
wrong with this.
It may
car.
be. But if not, you have a crack block.
Yeah, I like this idea. Go to the junkyard, buy the whole instrument cluster.
Oh, okay, then. I should be able to find one. That shouldn't be a problem to test it out.
Good luck, Henry.
I appreciate it.
It's nice talking to you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hi. 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, fellas.
Hi, who's this?
My name's Christy. I live in Port Townsend, Washington.
Christy with a K-R.
No.
Christy.
C-R-Y.
C-R.
Why?
Why?
S-T-I-E?
Yes, very good.
Very
Very
good. Well,
good.
you gave us 3/4 of it.
My mother wanted to name me Crystal when I was a baby, and my sisters wouldn't let her. So
Crystal, that's the name of our assistant producer director here.
well, there you go.
Crystal Gale Ray.
Anyway, what's up?
Oh, I have a very humiliating problem.
Oh, yeah? The heartbreak of psoriasis?
Does it have to do with an odor?
Well, all right, here's the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
My partner's family lives on a wheat farm in eastern Washington. They have a lot of big machines, and they have their own gas tank.
This your business or life partner?
My life partner.
Okay.
My
well, at
love
least
partner.
temporarily life partner.
Yeah, well...
Till somebody dies.
Oh, no. So anyway, I was over there for the harvest, and I wanted to fill up my tank. It's an '88 Chevy Blazer, by the way, with gas from their pump that they have there.
I see it now.
Oh, I see it now.
I
No,
see,
you don't.
I see diesel
you
in your
don't have
future.
Any idea.
I see diesel fuel.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh, it's worse than that.
It's worse
so
than that.
anyway, it's a really old
It's
machine.
51 octane.
It's an old machine, and the meter doesn't work very well, and so I was putting gas in my car, and I realized that I didn't know when the car would be full. So I decided that I wanted to look into the tank so I wouldn't overflow and
And it was dark, so you lit a match. No.
Well, no, there's a little metal flap that covers the whole of the gas tank, so
Right.
I couldn't see in there. So I leaned down and I picked up a nail, like a 3-inch long nail, and I pushed aside the little flap so I could look in the tank, and zoom, it got sucked into the gas tank like there was a vacuum in there.
Right.
So I went into a mechanic in Seattle, and I said, there's a nail in my gas tank. Is it a problem? And he said, no, it'll just float in there. It'll just bob, unless, of course, it strikes metal and sparks. And so now I think I'm going to explode.
Aha!
Okay. No, I'm serious. It's a great psychological burden. So I called Chevy dealer, and I said, there's a nail in my gas tank. Am I going to be okay? And they didn't take me seriously, and I was hoping you would, and tell me if I'm going to blow up.
You were hoping that we took you seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a big nail. Surely it can't belong in there.
Let me get this straight now. You called the dealer and they didn't take you seriously, and you thought we would.
Well, I thought at least you could sort of make it so next time I thought about it in there, I wouldn't think about dying.
Something wrong with this picture.
We will comfort you, my child.
Really?
Okay,
Yes.
now was this a galvanized nail or was it just a plain old
It was on the ground. It looked
You
like
said it was
a
like-
rusty nail.
3 inches long? It was rusty.
Oh,
was long.
Your car's going to get tetanus.
But I didn't say it was rusty.
It wasn't rusty.
It
but
wasn't rusty.
How long was it?
3 inches, maybe?
3 inch.
It's a big nail.
Yeah, it was a big net. That's why I'm worried. I mean, maybe it'll go in there and then get sucked through the innards of the car and then...
Yeah, that's what will happen. It'll get sucked into the fuel pump. It'll go right down the fuel lines. It'll go into one of the cylinders, and it will be consumed by the engine.
It'll make a hole in one of the pistons. It's not going to go
It can't go
anyplace.
anywhere. It can't. It's too big.
It's too big to go any place because your fuel in your vehicle, 88 Blazer has a fuel injection, and you have an electric fuel pump which is in the tank. The fuel pump has a screen on it which prevents very tiny particles from getting sucked into the pump.
So
and
a
certainly
nail.
will prevent a nail from getting sucked into the
So
pump.
it won't get sucked, but what about blowing up? What if it sparks against the...
What's it going to spark against? The gasoline?
No, the metal in the tank.
No, that thing is going to sit on the bottom of the tank
Right.
forever
That'll
and ever.
be there when the car is junk, which is like a week from now.
No need
Right.
to buy its 4-foot-long
No, when the
magnet and-
cosmos collapses on itself, that nail will still be sitting in the bottom of that tank.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd be the least bit worried.
Okay.
You can put this completely out of your mind, Christy. There is
You,
nothing.
you sound like you don't believe it.
Well, no, I just, yeah.
You can trust us 100% on this.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Boy,
And
there's not
don't
many-
forget the advice that we gave a caller just a couple of weeks ago, which was, whatever you do, don't take our advice.
Oh, great. That's a lot. I
You
trust
can absolutely trust us on this.
Yeah, no, this is true.
Okay, I can
Nothing
sleep
can
now.
happen.
Nothing can happen.
You can forget about it.
Months without sleep. Okay.
Do you have any lawyers in the family?
Let's sell
we
the
don't
car.
want to get sued if anything
You
happens.
saved the day. Yeah, no lawyers.
Good. Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Hey, the puzzler answer and more calls are coming up right after this.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
The House of Representatives has approved a White House request to claw back 2 years of previously approved funding for public media. The rescissions package now moves on to the Senate. This move poses a serious threat to local stations and public media as we know it. Please take a stand for public media today at goacpr.org. Thank you.
Decades ago, Brazilian women made a discovery. They could have an abortion without a doctor, thanks to a tiny pill. That pill spawned a global movement. helping millions of women have safe abortions regardless of the law. Hear that story on the network from NPR's Embedded and Futuro Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
These days, there is a lot of news. It can be hard to keep up with what it means for you, your family, and your community. Consider This from NPR as a podcast that helps you make sense of the news. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a story and provide the context, the backstory, and analysis you need to understand our rapidly changing world. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.
Okay, it's now time to reveal to the entire world how memory is affected over the years by carbon monoxide exposure. Do you remember last week's puzzler,
Yes,
Tommy?
of course. You mean the French peasants who went into the fields and trampled on all the tobacco plants?
Must have been looking over my shoulder.
Of course,
All right, here
I
it is.
remember.
And like I said, I'm willing to take whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I'm willing to take whatever criticism I get over this puzzle, because I've already had some criticism from the staff who doubts this.
What the hell do they know? Come on. No, I think this is beautiful. It's brilliant. I could kill you. It's so beautiful.
Here it is. And I will give the rebuttal answer as well.
Yeah, sure.
During the 19th century, formerly gruntled, but now disgruntled French peasants would go into the fields of their landlords and would trample the crops that they were supposed to be, harvesting.
Yeah.
To show their discontent or disdain for the way they were being treated and abused. Mm-hmm. They would trample the crops with their wooden peasant shoes. Out of this behavior, a new word was born. It has entered not only the French vocabulary, the French vocabulary, but the English vocabulary as well. And it's a very common word, a word you could hear every day.
Especially if you work for the government.
What is this word
Or the IRS.
that was created out of this peasant behavior or uprising?
Yeah.
Well, if you knew what the French word for wooden shoe was, you might have a clue.
Of course. I'm sure a lot of people do know what the name for
Especially if you're a
shoe is.
crossword puzzle. It's a sabot. S-A-B-O-T.
Un sabot. Or un pair of sabots.
So, as the French are wont to do, they add an A-G-E to make a word out of sabot and age, and they got like décolletage, homage,
fromage,
vintage. If you could, a word that's often used when referring to our show, garbage, and they came up with the word sabotage.
Yeah.
Now,
because those peasants had in fact sabotaged the plants.
Well, they hadn't until
that
the word was invented.
Yeah,
they hadn't done anything.
What are we going to call this? When people
there's a rumor around the office here
that this answer is wrong.
That it was the Dutch workers, who of course wear wooden shoes, throwing them into the machinery and gumming up the works. Breaking the machines.
Yeah. But we have a Dutch opinion on this matter. What's her name? What is her name?
Else.
Didn't she tell us that the people who worked in the factories didn't wear wooden shoes? Farmers wore wooden shoes.
There you go. So I'm sticking with my answer.
I'm with you.
No matter what. Do we have a winner?
And besides, it's not a Dutch word anyway. What have the Dutch got to do with it?
They call them sabbats.
Sabbats. No, that's when you go to church on the Sabbath. Well, yeah, we got a winner. This week's winner is John Thames from Spring, Texas. And for having his correct answer chosen at random from among the thousands and thousands of correct answers that we got on this one, John gets our newest CD, and Dr. Ruth should look out. This is a whole collection of calls about couples and their cars. It's called Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford, and it's guaranteed to permanently cement any relationship you may now have or even be contemplating.
They don't use that word in the Hoffa household, I bet.
No, they don't use that word.
Anyway, we'll have a brand new puzzler coming up in the second half of today's show, and it also is non-automotive.
Really?
Well, kind of. Anyway, don't touch that dial. In the meantime, we'll take your calls at 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Good morning. This is George Finocchio out in San Francisco.
George.
Finocchio.
Yes. 1 and 2 C's.
Yeah, of course.
Finocchio.
I'm talking here from my classroom.
You are?
My classroom over in Berkeley.
Ah.
Hi, kids.
Most of them got it. Anyway.
Those college students sound a little funny.
Call-in students. I threaten them with having to push my car if this doesn't work.
What are you teaching?
What am I teaching? First grade.
First grade. I didn't know Berkeley went down that low.
Yeah, well, typically they start at third grade because they come in pretty smart, but it's just a great group of kids.
So what's up, Giorgio?
I have a '89 Honda Civic. I've had it since new. Mm-hmm. And in the last year or so, and it's not periodic, this is kind of a random thing, when I go to start it, typically if it's cold but it's been sitting in the sun, I'll turn it on, the engine light will not go out, and then I'll turn it one more, and it'll whine and whine and whine and whine, but nothing happens. There's no ignition. It doesn't start. I'll turn it back off and turn it back on. The engine light will not come on. It'll fire up. Other times I could wait for 45 minutes and have this engine light thing keep coming on, and it won't start.
Yeah.
Okay, I took it to the dealer.
Good.
And I said, run it around the block a few times, then stop, because that's another time it does this. If you do short trips, they said that it did it once, and they wanted to replace 2 items, but they weren't sure if that's really what it needed. So I was a little suspect in that they were just throwing new parts at it, not knowing exactly what was wrong.
Was one of the items the igniter?
That had been replaced under warranty.
Well, how long ago was that?
A couple of years ago.
3 years ago,
About
sure.
90,000 when I had the major service at 90,000.
It's possible that the new igniter is faulty. Possible.
They said if it either works or it doesn't work, and it's not a periodic thing or a sometimes work.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Oh, really?
That's not true. It can behave in this fashion, although it's unusual.
What are the 2 things they wanted to replace?
The oxygen sensor?
No, that's stupid.
No.
It could be, for example, a bad fuel pump. It could be a bad fuel pump relay. You can hear the fuel pump run when you turn the key to the crank position.
Yeah.
And if you release the key but don't turn it off, just let it go, you'll hear the pump running.
Turn it into the on position and see if I can hear the fuel pump?
You have to crank it first for a few seconds, and then just release it to the on position.
Okay.
And you'll hear the pump go,
I'll have to listen.
And then conk out.
Oh.
If you don't hear that,
means it wasn't running.
I mean, it wasn't running, and the car won't start because either the pump is no good or failing, or the pump relay is no good. The problem is either in the ignition system or it's in the fuel system.
Right. There's no spark or no gas.
Yeah, there you
One
go.
of the two,
or no oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I take it back to the dealer and tell him to try it again?
No, I suggest you leave it with them.
Sergio, am I on the phone right now? Sorry. Slight interruption.
Detention, Sergio.
Pusher of the
Would you run out of duct tape?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. No, these are pretty well motivated kids.
Well,
anyway,
I would suggest you leave it with them for a week.
Oh.
Or whatever time it takes.
Yeah.
And let them experience it. Let them stick it in a corner of the shop and hook up the fuel pressure tester to it, and hook up they can hook up a timing light to it and see if they're getting spark when it cranks.
Okay.
And they'll figure it out when it does it to them. It could also be a bad computer.
A little bit longer.
It could be a bad computer if it's not firing off the injectors. So you could be getting fuel to the injectors, but maybe the computer isn't telling the injectors to open.
Getting more expensive, it sounds.
Well, we got you up to about $1,400 now.
Oh, jeez.
I think you ought to hang up.
Yeah.
George, good luck, but leave it with them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me have my class say goodbye real quick. Guys, you ready? All righty.
Thanks, George.
Guys.
Hey, what was that noise? Was that you slapping a couple of kids around?
Dope slaps.
No, that was my signal to them. I just patted one on the head 3 times. So I was patting the counter.
What, you patting him with a brick?
That was the one that came up and interrupted.
Oh, Sergio. Yeah. I knew he was a little brat from the beginning.
Sergio, you're famous.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So, first grade? Could you do it?
Could I do what?
Could you go and face 15 or 20 or 30 first graders every day of the week?
Well, you have to have the right frame of mind.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. You couldn't do it.
It takes a very special...
They'd have you tied up in 1 hour. They would. No.
Don't go anywhere. Stick around for more calls and the new puzzler coming right up.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
Pop Culture Happy Hour, NPR's easy breezy, laid back pop culture podcast, has brought you the best in culture for the past 15 years.
That means we spent the last 15 years talking about what exactly?
Bad reality TV, actually good Marvel movies,
Actually awful Marvel movies,
reboots, pop music,
prestige dramas,
Netflix slop. That's 15 years of buzzy pop culture chit chat, and here's to many more with you along for the ride. Listen to Pop Culture Happy Hour on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Wildcard podcast, Michelle Obama says she's reinventing herself.
I don't know if my ambition has ever fully been able to actualize itself. I think I'm now at a stage in my life where all my choices are mine.
I'm Rachel Martin. Listen to Wildcard for a conversation about balancing family and personal growth with Michelle Obama.
With a major shift in our politics underway in this country, 1A is drilling down on what's at stake for you and our democracy. In our weekly series, If You Can Keep It, we put these changes into focus and answer your questions about the impact of the Trump administration on the U.S. Join us every Monday for If You Can Keep It on the 1A podcast from NPR and WAMU.
Ha! Just when you thought the hour was all over, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and a pretty good letter.
Yeah, because I ranted a little bit last week about the quality.
You're not
going
to read that whole thing, are you?
What? It's only a half a page. I'll do some good editing.
Go ahead.
I used to do a lot of editing with the da 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 da. I'll do that. This is from David Lewis from somewhere.
Sincerely, David Lewis.
David Lewis, Dallas, Texas. In the matter of daylight savings time, your Italian stallions. Oh, this is addressed to you, Dougie. Dear Dougie. I didn't even notice that until now. Dear Dougie. In the matter of daylight savings time, your Italian stallions have become the unwitting dupes of the daylight time conspiracy. Ooh. I am shocked that Tommy, with all his graduate degrees, cannot do the simple math to understand the DTC, Daylight Time Conspiracy. If one can see his way clear to accept the premise that, quote, government can give people nothing which it has not already taken away from them, the rest follows as surely as cappuccino gets stuck in your mustache. Daylight savings time involves, 1, taking an hour from every American in April.
That's true.
Parenthesis, the fact that this is done under cover of darkness should alert anyone with half a brain that something is amiss. And B, giving the hour back in October to the survivors. See, David, this is a good letter. During the course of 6 months, tens of thousands of senior citizens, accident victims, and other red-blooded Americans have the misfortune to die. If they die during the daylight savings time months, they die an hour early.
Yeah.
Their lives tragically cut short by death are cut an hour even shorter by DST. Where does this time go?
Good question.
Ooh!
Parallel universe.
My father-in-law inspired this quest of mine. I noticed that no matter whether one sprung forward or fell back, my wife's dad managed to lose an hour. During each of these occurrences, he was engaged in worry over his Social Security. This realization made all the pieces fit. Suddenly I realized that the government is stockpiling our time, borrowing an hour from each of us at zero interest, and paying back only those fortunate enough to still be alive in October.
Yeah. Oh, I'd never. Wow. I'm embarrassed that I had never realized this.
Wow. Please use your influence with Tom and Ray. Again, Dougie, this is addressed to you. Please use your influence with Tom and Ray. Dissuade them from this madness. What will become of America if we give the government 250 million hours outright? It is not too late or too early. David Lewis. That's good.
That's a good letter, David. And maybe it'll shut my brother up for a few weeks. Okay, without further ado, and because we're running so short of time today,
Come on.
we only have an hour to do this hour show this week. It's time for the puzzler.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I've wanted to use this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've always refrained from using it because I thought it was
so
lousy, but I'm kind of short on puzzlers, so I'm going to use it. It was a long, hot summer Sunday service. And this old geezer who's sitting in church with his wife.
Just the one about one eye.
No. Should I start all over? This old geezer sitting in church with his wife nods off during the sermon. He dreams that he is involved in the French Revolution. He's one of the leaders of the French Revolution. Wow. And he is brought to the guillotine. He is about to be executed by whoever pulls the, what do? They pull the rope?
Yeah.
Robespierre. Just as he dreams that the blade is falling, his wife happens to notice that this old codger is asleep. And she taps him on the back of the neck with her fan to wake him up. The shock of thinking that the blade has arrived to cut off his head makes him have a heart attack, and he dies on the spot.
Wow.
What's wrong with this story?
I got it already. Shall I tell you?
No! If you think you know the answer, or just have nothing to do at work and want to take a guess. I mean, there are many. Well, I'll just discuss nothing.
Oh, I got it immediately.
Well, I know you do because you were paying attention.
I was.
Mail your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Matt 02238. Or, of course, you can email us your answer from our website, cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random from among all the correct answers that we receive,
or both,
you'll get your very own copy of our brand new CD called Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford, the ultimate guide to tuning up your favorite relationship. Well, that sounds kind of sappy, doesn't it? If you'd like to call us, our number is 1-800-332-9287. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Matthew from Dallas.
Hi, Matthew.
What's up, Matt?
Well, I have
I may call you Matt, may I?
Sure, go ahead.
Good.
Sure, I have an interesting confluence of things automotive and marital relations.
Got it. Go ahead.
Well, what happened was, I guess about late June, my brother and sister-in-law were visiting, and we were driving someplace, and my sister-in-law pointed a spot underneath my car.
Yeah.
The car that the spot's under is my car, which is an Accord. My wife has a Horizon. So I check the spot underneath, and I dip my finger in it, feel it, and it doesn't feel like water off the condenser of the air conditioner.
Good.
So I smell it, and I can't identify the smell.
All right.
Well, I touch my fingers to my tongue and go, oh, this is radiator fluid. And, well, both my sister-in-law and my wife...
recoil in horror!
Exactly. So, well, now we fast forward to...
And they say you'll be dead in an hour.
Something like that.
Parenthetically, you moron.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got that look a lot of times.
Right, you antifreeze swilling yo-yo.
Exactly. And well, it brought up the question is there anything that is... I mean, I know antifreeze and motor oil and lots of things in the car are toxic when ingested in significant quantities. Is there anything that's actually toxic in the quantity where if you
just
touch
tuck your finger to it, will it just do you in just like that?
Yeah, and so...
Not unless my mother's cooking is around somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose battery acid might be the exception to that.
Yeah, battery acid, it wouldn't kill you, but you wouldn't want that to be touching your tongue even for that little amount and that little bit of time.
This is true.
The amount of antifreeze that you ingested from sampling that little spot is hardly enough to kill you. I think if you did it every day, you might build up an immunity to it, actually.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think there's anything else. I mean, we got...
Brake fluid's not too good
Brake
to
fluid
drink,
isn't too good.
Motor oil isn't good.
It's not going to kill you.
Gasoline, no.
The fumes from gasoline is just enough to kill you. But
Yeah.
not the amount that you fit on the tip of your finger.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should. I think you should do a week of antifreeze, a week of gasoline.
See when you get the sickest.
Yeah, but tell your wife to lighten up.
Okay.
Something else, you'll probably get hit by a bus next week. Don't worry about drinking a little antifreeze.
I mean, women are afraid of lots of things.
Mostly men.
And justifiably. But you're right. I think there are lots of women. I shouldn't make these blanket generalizations.
No, but go right ahead. Don't let me inhibit or deter you in any way, shape, or form.
You're trying to get me divorced.
No.
Again.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I have found that there are many women who are afraid of lots of things that men aren't afraid of, or at least don't admit to being afraid of. Men have to show that they're rough. It's just a little battery acid in my eye, hon. Won't hurt me. I think it's a part of being a guy. I think we do it just to show that we're big and strong.
Oh, you think it's a demonstration of machismo?
Of course it is.
I think it's more stupidity.
Well, that's what they would have us believe. But
Yeah,
it's
they're
not.
probably right. Don't drink this stuff, Matt.
Yeah. What are you, a nut? Come on.
See you later.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, it's happened again. You've wasted another hour listening to Car Talk.
Have I?
Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion Berman. Our associate producer and dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Crystal Ray. And our engineer is Jonathan Marston. Our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor is Mr. John Bugsy Lawler, who's absent. Is Bugsy in this? No. Okay.
He's at a meeting today.
Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin Overa. Our director of new product repair is Warren T. Myfoot. Our staff butler from the Car Talk Mumbai division is Mahatma Kote. From the New Delhi office, our blues coordinator is Mohammedan Tolmi. Our document security expert from the island of Jamaica is Euripides Upman. And our Italian governess is Donna De Everlearn. Our evasive driving instructor is Vera Brupley. Our director of moral support is Hugh DeMann. And our director of humor standards is Paul Mafinger. Paul Mafinger? Oh, pull my finger.
Pull my finger.
Our director of humor standards is Paul Mafinger. Our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known around Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and don't drive like my brother or my sister.
Oh, wait. My sister called me the other day and said, I heard you were maligning my driving. I told her it was you. Don't drive like my sister.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now, within a very important announcement, here is Car Talk Plaza's chief mechanic, Mr. Vinny Gumbatz.
All right, now shut up and listen. If you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which happens to be number 44, here's what you got to do, all right?
All right, you're going to give out the phone number now, Vinny, is that correct?
No, I'm going to discuss my mutual funds portfolio with the Pope, you moron. The number to call is 303-823-8000.
And what would be the number people could call if they wanted our brand new CD about couples and cars, which is called Men Are From GM and Women Are From Ford?
You don't never shut up, do you?
No, I'm sorry. Go on.
For the newest Car Talk CD, Men Are From GM, Women Are From Ford, and other Car Talk stuff, you call 303-823-8000, or you visit our shameless commerce division at cartalk.msn.com. You got anything to add to this, Mr. Radio Man?
No, that's fine.
Good. Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though Janet Reno considers launching a formal investigation every time she hears us say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
You know those things you shout at the radio or maybe even at this very NPR podcast? On NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me, we actually say those things on the radio and on the podcast. We're rude across all media. We think the news can take it. Listen to NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Throughline,
schoolhouses are less expensive than rebellions.
We've been debating the government's role in education since the Civil War.
1/10 of our national debt would have saved us the blood and treasure of the late war.
How the Department of Education tried to fix a divided nation.
Listen to Throughline wherever you get your podcasts.
Hola, it's Sarah Gonzalez.
At Planet Money, when we say we want you to understand the economy, sure, we mean tariffs and global supply chains and interest rates, cosas así, but also we shot a satellite into space. We made our own vodka, became a record label, made a comic book, all to help you make better sense of the world around you. Listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR.